Hey y'all have seen this leotard probably in the small shop world. This is the Flutter sleeve leotard. So I'm going to show you guys how to make it. Subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, follow us on social media. You are going to need the Petite Stitchery Juliet leotard and their flowy sleeve add-on, which is also, they also have a bell sleeve add-on. So these are the pieces you'll need. You'll need the front and the back. Pay close attention to the line you're cutting because there's a dotted line for the leg band version and the neck band version. There's also a lined version that we've done previously, so make sure you're cutting on that dotted line. You'll need a neck band here. I folded my piece in half because I like to cut these on a fold, and then my leg band piece, I also cut those on a fold, so it's folded in half. And then this little piece here is the flowy sleeve add-on, and it is in the free section of Petite Stitchery's website. We will link those below, so make sure you check that out in the video description. These are our pieces cut out. The front piece, I am using crushed velvet, or I think it's crushed velvet. It's either crushed velvet or regular velvet. I think it's regular velvet. So I got my 2 leg bands, neck band, and then my 2 flowy sleeve pieces. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do to get started. Flowy sleeve pieces here. You got 1 fold on the edge, and then you got your piece that has raw edges, and you're going to serge or zigzag stitch if you don't have a serger. The raw edges here and here. Make sure you leave tails because you're going to want to secure those ends, especially if you're not doing like a finished edge, like a rolled hem or anything like that. Okay, for the leg bands and for the neck band, I would typically do the ham hot method, but I have learned that with velvet, it is easier to do the regular method and sew straight across and then fold it over on itself. If you want to do the ham hot method, more power to you. I just like the clean finish, so I'm going to go ahead and sew these straight across. And then you'll need your front and your back bodice pieces here. And I like to put the front down because the back is really scooped. And so I just find it easier to put them right sides together. So you're going to put the front right side up, back right side down, match up those shoulder seams and side seams and crotch seam and serge all of those. And like I said, if you don't have a serger, a zigzag stitch will work. Just make sure it's a stretch stitch if you're using a regular sewing machine. It's really important with knits. So again, shoulder seams, both side seams, and crotch seam you're going to sew up. So I'm going to go over here and do that really fast. I'm going to show you on camera, super fast. I wish it really took this like amount of time, but of course it doesn't. Alright, so I've sewn all the crotch seams and side seams up here. And then this is the flowy sleeve here. Again, I left that tail kind of long. I'm going to go ahead and tuck my tail with my knit picker here. You can get that on waywalk.com or you can get that at Hobby Lobby. Do the other one, same thing. Go ahead and tuck that tail that's... Alright, leg band. My camera cut off, so I didn't get this on camera, but I just sewed straight across the leg bands and the neck band, and then I clipped the end pieces here. So you'll fold that seam over on itself, and you'll have your leg band. And then I did the same thing with the neck band. I've already folded my seams over and cut the end points, and then I cut my side points. I'm quartering up the neck band, and so now I'm going to quarter up the actual neck hole. And so I hold my side seams together like that, get the true middle, front, and back. Match those middle points that I just snipped up to get the true side seams here. Since that back is so scooped, it's not going to be the shoulder seams. It's going to be on the back, a little bit lower than the shoulder seams. So you want to make sure you quarter those up so that when you get your neck band going and you attach those points, you'll have the perfect stretch. You'll know exactly how much you need to pin these apart to get the perfect neck band here. So that folded over seam, that I like to put that in the back. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this around. And I am putting this on the inside of the garment here, right sides together. I find that easier, and I did find a new way to put my tag in so that my tag is not super wonky, especially with velvet, because velvet is super fickle. So I got my clips here, and I'm just clipping each one of these. I actually only clipped 2. I clipped the front and the back. That works for me. If you need to clip all 4 points, go ahead. But as long as I have the 4 points, I have a reference to make sure that I'm matching up. And the main thing with the neckband is to make sure that your raw edges are all lined up, because you don't want to miss a piece of your neckband, especially with velvet, because it just moves so much. It's so shifty that you want to make sure that your 2 raw edges from your neckband and your 1 raw edge from that neck opening are still together, sitting pretty. So then I'm going to go ahead and put this in here like this. and go around the neck opening little by little, making sure all those raw edges are still lined up. And then here I'm putting my tag on underneath because the feed dogs just kind of pull it through. So it's a lot easier to just go through. And then I just overlap, cut, and tuck my tail here with my nitpicker again. This thing's my best friend. My stuff literally never unravels because of this, and it was only like $1 and some change, so yep. And if you notice my mask strings, if I don't sew velvet with the mask on, I get a terrible sinus infection. So if you've sewn velvet before and you didn't wear a mask and you got a sinus infection, maybe you should wear a mask. All right, so leg bands, I like to put the seam part here that I'm going to fold over like this. I like to put that on the crotch just in case I don't get everything lined up perfectly. It's not super obvious on the side. So I'm going to go ahead and clip the side seam, or clip the seam of the leg band to the crotch seam here. And then I just grab the other point that I had clipped and match it up to the side seam here. And I don't even clip this one because I just like to go ahead and put it under my serger and get it started so that it's held. And then I move my fabric, because if you move your fabric before you start sewing, you will pull the garment right out of the serger. So then I just go around making sure, again, that all those raw edges are still lined up, that they're all being caught in the seam, because if not, it's a hassle to get them all back in the seam. So then again, cut your tail a little long, and then use your nitpicker or however you tuck your tails. I find this to be the most effective way, but everybody has their little own ways. And if you don't, here's the new way. All right, and then you're just going to repeat that. I like to double check, make sure that I caught all the edges, especially with the velvet because it moves so much. Repeat this with a second leg band. I didn't show it on camera. But now we're going to do the flowy sleeves, the part that makes this just ooh la la. Okay, super simple. The folded edge, you're going to want to snip there, and then flip the sleeve right side out, and the garment is still inside out or wrong side out. And then I like to put the seam on the armpit and the part that doesn't have a seam on the shoulder seam. So we are going to go through the neck hole into the armhole. That's the easiest way I can explain it. So I'm holding the sleeve like this, and I'm going to put it in the neck hole to the armhole, and I am matching up that one point that I snipped on that folded edge. And remember, these are right sides together. That's why the sleeve was right side out and the garment's still inside out, because now it's right sides together. And now you can see that folded, or that seam edge is now where my side seam is, and I'm just going to sew around in the circle of the arm side there. And this is really super simple. And you can absolutely finish that flutter sleeve if you want to, like with a rolled hem or something like that. I'm going to do a short video soon, really soon, on the settings that I use, and if you want to do like a rolled hem, lettuce hem edge, how you can stretch your fabric and make that look like that. I didn't finish this edge because it's not going to unravel as long as you use your like a lint roller to get the excess velvet pieces off after you cut it. It's not going to unravel. But if you like to finish your stuff, if you like stuff to be finished, you can hem it, you can serge it, but the best thing I found is the lettuce hem, as you've seen in the thumbnail picture. All right, and then you're just going to repeat this with the other one again, just to kind of give you game plan. I flipped this one out before I clipped it or snipped it, whatever. Same thing, through the neck hole into the sleeve hole, and then I just match up that first point. And it's just preference, but I do like the side seam. I like the seams to match up. I don't like the seam to be on top of the shoulder. I like it to be in the armpit. So that's how I do mine, just like a normal sleeve. And then you just sew in the circle and then overlap and tuck your tail. And it's super simple. And you can absolutely, once you're done, you can top stitch the neckband down and leg bands down if you want to. And like I said, you can finish those flutter sleeves if you want to. It's all preference. As long as you secured your tails on those flowy sleeves or flutter sleeves, you're fine and you're good to go. And as long as you're not using a fabric that's going to unravel or fray, you're good to go. So tuck your tail and then flip this cute thing inside out or right side out. And this is what you're left with, and it's super cute. I got this fabric from, I think, Surge Fabric, so check them out. And yeah, it's super cute, super flowy. It looks super adorable on. Flat lays are cute, but like model photos are so much cuter. And if you're wondering where I've been, just in case you're out of the loop, baby number 3 is on the way. Another little boy, Lowen Curry, is on the way, 23 weeks pregnant now. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on another tutorial very soon. Bye.